Hi guys, so I secured my US study visa in 2 minutes. Would you want to know how I did it? Just stick and stay with me in this video. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video is just going to be about how I secured my US visa in 2 minutes. Yes, you heard me right, in 2 minutes. And so stick and stay with me in this video, and yes, let me narrate that to you. So this video is just going to be like a little story time about how I secured my US visa in 2 minutes. Yeah. Now we all know how the US visa process can be. It can be so draining. It can make you think a lot. It can make you have sleepless nights, especially if you haven't gone through any other visa process before. So like I narrated in my other videos, I did my Canadian application, my Canadian visa application, and I did my US visa application. So let me say I started with the US visa application before I decided to do my Canadian visa application, because I felt like, why not do both if I could get the money to pay for both? That is, if I had the resources, then why not do both? And so you know, the way the whole date acquisition is, it can be so stressful to get a date. Even getting a date can be very strict, like can be very stressful. And so initially when I filled my DS-160, I did everything, I got my I-20 and everything down, and I was ready for the interview, and I booked my appointment. I had a date in 2024. And so I was like, how am I going to work with this? And so I started monitoring the system. I decided to spend my nights monitoring the system, because it wasn't easy. Like, you have to try as much as possible to monitor the system. And what I did was to join groups. So I had these groups that I joined, and we monitored the system together. So this is how it functioned. When someone sees a date, the person, tells everybody in the group, and then you rush there and probably secure some. And sometimes it can be very stressful, because the more you go into the appointment booking website, the more you can be blocked. And when you are blocked, you can be blocked for a whole 24 hours. So it was quite difficult for people to say that they are going to stay on the site, on the booking platform, to secure a date. It wasn't that easy. And so with this whole monitoring thing, and yes, and everything, I was able to secure a date. And so I secured a date somewhere around June, and I think that was the happiest day of my life, because I was like, oh, I really didn't want to go through the route of applying for emergency and everything, because when you apply for emergency once and you are rejected, then that is all. Like, it becomes difficult for you to apply for emergency again. So I didn't want to apply for emergency. I wanted to, monitor the system and get a favorable date for me. And so after everything was done, like fast forward, I got ready for my interview. But before I even went for my US visa interview, I had already secured my Canadian visa. And so I was more like, okay, the Bambra, whatever will come should come. But I still had this, I don't know, this nervousness. I really don't know about Canadian visa is such that you do everything online. You write whatever you want to write, and then you just submit it. But US visa is, you just have to prove, like, you have to let them know that yes, you are up for it, you are up for studying, you are ready to study, you are, you have the requirements that they need. And so sometimes it can be very frustrating, can be very stressful. So initially I planned not to join any group, because we had this whole visa interview groups. We had some by Freddie Feds, Quissy, and other people. And so initially I didn't join them. I didn't join anything. I really didn't want the pressure, because I felt like having that pressure is going to, it's rather going to destroy me rather than help me, because I didn't want to go through that pressure. But there was a friend of mine, hi Oliver. So yeah, there was a friend of mine who was joining, and she was telling me, yeah, we are hearing this, we are doing this, we are doing that, everything is going well with people are really getting their visas, and then, you know, putting yourself in that uncomfortable situation makes you better. And I was like, okay, so should I try it out? So after, you know, much convincing and conversations with her, I decided that why not try it out. So my first interview section with Fred Effect, I think there was one lady that interviewed us. It went well, but I could feel a little bit of shakiness. You know, so you know, on my channel we are being real here and everything. So yes, we say it as it is. So I could talk, I could express myself, but there was a little bit of shakiness. And so I was like, oh, how am I going to do this? Am I really going to do this? All the nervousness started setting in, and you know, that confident person that said she can do it without any mock interview, anything, started, you know, I just started getting a whole lot of things in my head. I was so confused. I was so, I don't know, I was so messed up. And so I was like, no, then I have to continue with this. So I continued. I think I did some again, and it went so well. And I repeated it again, and it went so well. And I was like, yes, I'm ready. No more mock interview. I think I'm ready for this. And so an advice I'll give you is that make sure that you join groups. Make sure you join mock interview groups. Even if you are not going to be interviewed by anybody, just be in it. Like, just listen to how people answer the questions and all that. It can help you. Like, it can really help you. And so I felt prepared. I spent nights and nights and nights, day and nights actually, going through things, going through everything, trying to motivate myself and trying to get ready. Because you know, when you go to the internet, you see a whole lot of information about the US visa application, the interview stages, and you know, sometimes on these pages you see the we call that transcript, so the mock interview experience by other people who have been rejected, and people who were actually not rejected, but you know, they were granted their US visa, the study visa. And so you see mock interviews by two different, you know, from two different angles, and sometimes you'll be like the bowed man, the this, the that, and you're like, like, I really don't want to go and meet this person. Like, you start thinking about the person you want to meet and all that. But God being so great, what happened was that I just motivated myself. I prayed so hard. I motivated myself. I was like, now you can do this. And so I spent time thinking about, because yes, I really want to do this masters, and so I should know how to talk. I should know how to convince someone else, to make the person understand that yes, I am up for this masters. And so what I did was that I just sat down. Sometimes I'll ask myself questions. Why are you here? Why should we grant you this, you know, study permit? Why not France? Why the particular university? How are you prepared in terms of finances? What will you do after your studies? Like, I really went through all those questions, and yes, I'm very sure I'm going to shoot another video, and I'm going to give you like 10 main questions and the answers that I'm going to suggest, some answers that you should follow, and I bet you your visa is going to be approved in less than 2 minutes. So yes, on the D-Day, I was ready. I woke up, I prayed. I was like, nah, we are just gonna get this. Like, just go and get your visa. That visa is mine and no one else's. So that morning I woke up, got ready, prayed with my mom, and prayed with, you know, I just prayed about it. And yes, I got ready. And so what happened was, I got to the visa interview place. It's around if I should remember, I think around Cantonments. Yes, I think it's around Cantonments. Yes, if I'm mistaken, I'm going to put it here. So it's around Cantonments in Accra. And so I saw a lot of people, and then that was when I was like, wow, like all these people coming for the study visa interview, all these people. And so I saw some friends who were also coming, but you know, at that moment everybody's wild, everybody says hi, hello, hi, and then everyone concentrates on their own thing, either meditating, either talking to friends, either doing their own things. And so yes, there were these people who were taking our bags and they were charging a whole lot of money for it. I really don't get why they do that, but anyway, yes. So I got ready, and then you know they call according to the time. So it was like 7:30 a.m. Enter 8, enter 8:45, enter 8:30. So they do that a lot. So they just call, you follow the queue, you have some documents, you have your I-20, you have all the relevant documents. So I had my I-20, I had my leave letter, I had my admission letter, I had every single thing that pertains to my visa application. I even printed out my DS-160 because I wanted to have everything there. I had my bank statement, even though I didn't need my bank statement because it was a full scholarship. I still wanted to add a particular bank statement just so in case of anything I can still prove that I have something to take care of my travel expenses. Yeah. And so we entered, and then the way it works is that when you enter, there's this shed. You sit under the shed for a while, and then when it's your turn, or when they start calling people, they call according to the way you are seated. And so I was seated there thinking about myself, meditating, going through what I wanted to see and everything. And we were called. We stayed there for a very long, like a long time, like about almost an hour. Yes, I should think. And then we were called. We submitted our passport pictures, and then they looked at certain documents and everything. And then we went back to sit down under the shed again. It was more like going to give them our passports and some relevant documents like the I-20 and everything for them to just look at it. Like, do you have your passport? Do you have your passport pictures and everything? And then you go sit down, and then they call you for the main interview, like the main interview queue. And so what happened was that we were called to enter, and the way it works is that you are all on this particular queue, you're in that queue, and then when this person, so it's more like a teller, a banking teller system, where the immigration officer is at the back of the teller station, and then you are in front, and then the queue is just there. So you are lined up, and you're lined up like the way we see at the bank. So in Canada here, I think we see that a lot. Even in Ghana, I think here there's that. So the teller is there, and then they have their own stations, and then you are in a queue, and then you follow just like that. And so you can actually hear what the person in front of you is saying. You can hear whatever they are saying, you can hear their rejection, you can hear their acceptance and everything. So if they say you are rejected, blah blah blah, take this paper and everything, take this blue paper actually, and then they reject them, you're able to hear it. So my story, now we are getting to the main story. So when I was in the queue, there was one lady behind me. She was breathing so hard. She was breathing so hard, like she was scared. She was virtually scared about the whole process. I turned, looked at her, and was like, "Oh, I can see you're breathing so hard. Just be cool. Breathe in and out, and just be cool. You can do it. You can do it." I really don't know the status of. I don't know if she received her visa or not, because I think right after that I was so happy that I just left. And then, you know, it's not right for you to talk to other people in the queue, so it makes sense that right after that I just leave. And so right after that I just left. But someone was interviewed, like someone got interviewed in front of me. It was a gentleman, and his visa got approved. But there was also another gentleman that got his visa, you know, his visa rejected. and then I think the study permit application rejected, and I think there was one lady, like there just two ladies. I'm very sure maybe they were applying for visitors or something, because they were in the other queue, and then they also had a rejected. So they had this sad look on their face, like, how, why did we get rejected, like, you know, that kind of look. And so I was already like, there was a lot of nervousness, but I went there and, you know, I spoke with confidence. I was like, good morning. And she was like, good morning, how are you doing? I was like, I'm very good, please, yourself? She was like, oh, I'm also good. Then she was like, can I have your documents? I gave her my passport, my I-20 first, because that's what she wanted. And so I gave her my passport and my I-20, and she was like, why are you here? And I was like, I'm here to be interviewed for my F1 visa to study my master's program in French in the USA. And then she asked me, why the US? Why not France? And then I told her whatever I could tell her with so much confidence. And then she asked me that, how am I paying my tuition? I was like, oh, after a rigorous application process and, you know, an interview to assess my abilities, I got this full scholarship, this full teaching assistantship that will cover for my tuition and my living expenses and all that. And I added certain things to it. Definitely, when you're done with school, what are you going to do next? And I'm going to return to Ghana to continue working, because I have a leave letter. I am actually working right now, so I just have to come back and resume my role as a bilingual administrative assistant with my company. So yeah, so she was like, okay. She asked a whole lot of questions. She asked some other questions, but it was so quick. And in 2 minutes, she was like, congratulations, your visa is approved. Take this letter, go to any DHL, blah, blah, blah. You're going to get, you know, you're going to get more like a message when your visa is ready, and that is all. She just kept my passport and gave me that white paper, and that was the happiest day of my life. Like, you know, I'm not saying that the Canada visa wasn't rigorous, the visa process wasn't rigorous. No, you know, you go through a whole lot of documentations that can be very stressful as well. But the US visa really tested me. Like, I feel like it tested my personality and my person and my abilities and my confidence, because the US visa process was there. And then, you know, when they're talking to you, they're looking at their PC, they're typing, and sometimes they have this stand face, and it becomes very, very difficult to know if you're even saying the right things. But I believe that yeah, so I think that brings me to probably sharing some tips with you. Talk with confidence. That's the number one tip. Talk with confidence. You can do it. You can actually do it. I did it, and you can do it. Talk with confidence. Prepare. I'm going to shoot a video to talk about the 10 most important questions to prepare for your US study visa application, your F1 visa application. So yes, prepare adequately, use questions, join mock interview sections if you can. If you don't like being interviewed in that way, you can just join and listen at the way people probably answer their questions, because sometimes the way people answer their question is going to give you an idea of how you should answer yours. It's very, very important. So do that, and just don't leave the God factor out of it. If you're Muslim, don't leave Allah out of it. Just pray about all that. Like, don't leave God out of it. Pray, prepare adequately with questions. Let your friends and family ask you questions and try to answer them. Like, just put yourself in those uncomfortable situations, just so you understand how to be confident when you are, like, you're standing in front of them, and then you are standing and you're speaking, like, just how to be confident in that particular situation. So yes, this brings me to the end of my video. I hope you had something that inspired you. It was just like a story time today. I'm just letting you know my experience and how I got my F1 visa approved in 1 minute. Yes, in 1 minute. And so stick and stay with me on my other videos, because I'm going to take you on through my journey yeah, my journey for coming to Canada here and my US visa application journey as well. So yeah, stick and stay with me. It's so lovely to have you here. I always like, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I just realized today that I've gotten 100 subscribers. Thank you so much for, yes, subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing. I love all of you. And yeah, stick and stay with me until you see me in another video. Bye.